Hey Toy Family, welcome to another edition of the Marsham Toy Hour where we discuss anything and everything designer toys. I'm Gary Ham.
I'm George Gaspar.
I'm Carlos East.
First off, I want to congratulate you guys. This week, the Designer Toy Awards has released their short list of finalists, and the Marsham Toy Hour made the short list for Best Blog.
That's amazing. Your writing has been really great this past year, so you did a great job in the blogosphere.
Thank you.
You know what? You know what? In all honesty, he does the writing for the game that we play. So
yeah, but that's this year, Carlos. We're talking about last year.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
When there was no blog.
So they don't have a best podcast category. So that's where we got placed. But there's like,
Sorry.
dude, Carlos, holy crap!
Is that Carlos?
No, that's the Kev.
Oh my gosh!
Special guest, are you ready to start?
Oh my God! Thank you, the Kev. Now I am not the one that coughs.
Carlos, you will always be the one that coughs. Don't worry.
So we made the finalist list for best blog for the Designer Toy Awards, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, there's no best podcast category, but it's pretty nice that the listeners and the panelists of small panel of judges felt that we should be nominated for. I mean, I guess what is essentially a best media, but still, I mean, for us to be in best blog, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's like comparing a daily newspaper to a radio show.
Doesn't fit.
Right, exactly. So I'm excited about it. So it is a fan voted category. So any listeners, if you like this show or you just want to go and just vote for any of your fan favorites in those 6 categories, head on over to designertoyawards.com and nominate your favorites. And if you just want to shake up the category, vote for a podcast to win. And so that's it. Congrats, guys. And today we're going in a bit different direction. We have a guest joining us, and we're going to delve into the world of flipping, get to, inside the mind of a flipper. We have an expert in the field joining us. He runs an online toy store, The Corner. If you want to check out his store before we get any further into the episode, you can check it out at thecornerstore.com. He's also dabbled in toy producing with the Cookie No Good toy. He's also the cameraman for the Behind the Counter show. And anyone who's seen that, he takes a lot of heat for all the technical difficulties and all that stuff on that show. So anything that goes on here today, Kevin's going to get blamed for sure. And let's welcome Kevin Cow, a.k.a. deKevin.
Hey.
We'll insert the fanfare there. Don't worry.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Kevin, what's going on? Welcome.
Thank you for having me on here.
I know you're a long-time listener, first-time caller, right?
Actually, it's the other way around. He's first-time listener, long-time caller.
Yeah, there you go.
No hard feelings. I understand. You're a busy man.
Every time I call, I just get declined. So, no.
Well,
technically, he's been on this call longer than he's ever listened to an episode, so.
Yeah.
You're right, George. You're right.
All right, Kevin. I definitely want to get into talking to you about flipping and everything. And I think what's really cool about you joining is most flippers don't want to be known as flippers. They kind of hide behind alias accounts and all that good stuff. But you're pretty open about it, and so thank you very much for joining and willing to talk about it. So I appreciate that. But before we get started, Kevin, we have kind of a segment on the show that we always do first before we get into anything else. Each one of us will mention something that we might have seen on social media this week that we want to share with the listeners, maybe a toy coming out or an event or a show, anything that we just want to share with the listeners. So Kevin, being our guest, is there anything that you want to mention or flip?
Well, I want to talk about the cost stuff that just came out. I mean, we're on the subject of reselling, right? This I'm on here, flipping. So I think a lot of people knows the cause is doing a collaboration with Uniqlo on the Peanuts collabo.
Penis?
Peanuts.
Yes, Penis collabo.
Peanuts. Charlie Brown.
Fish sticks?
Maybe. So I think that's one thing that's coming out. I think it gets a lot of people in both that collects his stuff excited and the ones to get stuff that they want to wear his artwork, you know? I think that's something that's pretty cool. And for the first time, they have a plush that gets people excited in terms of the resale value and the collectability of it. I think that's everybody's on it. And that's available, you know, should be available. If you are not my size, the big sizes probably will sell out real quick. And the smaller sizes usually stays in the stores for a little bit, and they do restock. So I think that's a pretty cool thing coming out.
Now, what's the price? Because I've heard that Cause pretty much sets his prices at what he thinks things are already going to flip at. So are these plushes really expensive, or what's the price on them?
No, there's two sizes. There's a small one and a big one. The small one is $19.99, and the big one is, I believe, $39.99. And because it's Uniqlo, it's like H&M. It's affordable clothing from Japan.
Oh, okay.
And it's run. Well, the new creative director over there is Nigo, who used to run Bathing Ape, which is a clothing brand in Japan. So they want to keep everything affordable, but also with a lot of artists that's collaborating with them. I think the T-shirts are about $15, and there's tote bags that's $15, and room shoes that's $20. So everything's affordable for everybody. With that kind of price, there's room for resale and flipping. Now, this is, going to be part of the flipping because everybody's going to try to flip that.
So you're recording during the release. What are you doing? Are you online right now trying to pick some stuff up?
I have already got them, but I will be actually, trying to get my hands on some more stuff,
Okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, I like that it's affordable. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who's next?
I guess you're done.
Carlos, go.
Okay, my sneak and leak peek for this week is... Oh, that sounded really good. From my friend Hugo from Barcelona, Spain. He goes by Sad Gas, and his Instagram is Ghetto Plastic. And he is getting a lot of stuff, a lot of resin original pieces for Toy-Con UK. And my favorite one so far, I love all of them, but he did this really cool robot called Beanbot. And it seems that he did like magnetic arms and legs, so they're posable, and it's pretty cool. I don't know any prices because he's just been posting them for get ready for Toy-Con and stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm sure as soon as I get some prices, I'll let people know next week probably. Pretty cool stuff.
Toy-Con's like tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Toy-Con is tomorrow.
And for you listeners, it's already over. So we should know the price by next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure he's doing them for, he did a run of all the figures for Toy-Con, of course, but I'm sure he's going to keep on going, if things go well, which I hope so, because he's been wanting to do these for a long time. So I wish him all the luck in the world.
Oh, very cool. All right, George, how about you?
Well, I was going to talk about another Kickstarter that's out there right now. I don't know that this one, it's got a little bit of time to make its goal. It's still got like 30-something days left. It's off to a slow start, but it's called Ninja Turtles Blood Brothers live-action short film. And this is a guy named Scotty Fields, and he's an effects guy that's trying to put together a fan-made Ninja Turtle movie. And this guy, he must be a graduate of the Troma Film School because everything he does looks like Troma style. Like, I don't know. If you know what that is, you know what that is. If you don't, just go watch it and look. But it's Ninja Turtles gone
wild,
gone crazy into this guy's style. And I just think it would be a fun thing to watch. Like I'd really like to see him do it just to be able to see what he's going to pull off. I don't know that it's going to be good, but it's going to be something. So I'd say jump in and help him get this thing made.
All right. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and mention it one more time? What was the title of the whole show?
Ninja Turtles Blood Brothers live action short film. Yeah. So just type in Ninja Turtles Blood Brothers on Kickstarter.
Yeah, let's shorten that up a bit. That's a bit long.
Yeah, I mean he needs a lot of work on this whole campaign, but it's I just if you go watch the video, you can see he's done a lot of work already on the puppets and stuff, and it just looks like it'd be a lot of fun to watch. Doesn't look like it's going to be great. Just looks like it's going to be fun.
how did the one that you mentioned last week go?
They successfully funded.
Nice, excellent.
They made it. Yes.
Cool. Very cool. And it was all because of us. Good job, George.
I believe so.
All right, so my leak this week is Ryan Rutherford and I are collaborating on something for 5 Points Festival. I designed it, and he did all the sculpting, molding, and all that good stuff. It's Logan the Log Boy. It's going to be a 3.5-inch resin, and it will be available at our booth. What I think is really cool about this is Ryan will be road-casting him at our booth. So people will be able to see live. Right in our booth. They'll be roadcasting it on the spot, on demand and all that good stuff. So people will be able to see the process, what roadcasting is and all that good stuff. And then I'll be on hand to add any painting details that people want or anything like that. Like on the back of it, there's a carved out heart. So if you want your initials carved in it or anything like that, I can paint that in, or I can carve it in. Or if you want me to paint the eyes or anything like that, I'll be available for that. There will be 3 colorways. One will be a pre-sale release available to anyone who's not attending. You'll be able to get that colorway. And then there's going to be 2 other colorways, a different colorway for each day. So one Saturday and one on Sunday. And this toy is only being made for the event. So the day after the event, Ryan's going to take the molds and break them. So this will be your only chance and only opportunity to pick this up if it's something that you like.
What about me? Can I get one?
Yeah, I want one.
Yeah, you can.
I want one too.
You can get the pre-sale release.
Don't get one
okay.
to Kev. Don't get one to Kev because he'll flip it.
Don't worry, I'll be there.
Oh, you're going.
Nice, I got a mule.
Okay.
I can either confirm or deny it.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll see you there. Maybe I won't. Yeah, so this is something that we're both excited about. I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan have his whole setup in the booth and rotocasting on the spot. And I kind of like that it's a design that lends itself to. So it's going to be unpainted, but I will be there to add, minimal customization to the figure, like the initials or dry brush or whatever someone might want to. And I'll be available to do that. And then, so the plan is to break the molds afterwards. So this might be the only chance to pick it up.
Right, I did see that, Gary, on your Instagram, and I didn't want to talk about it because that's your thing. I figured you would do it, and I loved it actually. I really
thanks.
liked it.
Yeah.
I think I commented on the picture.
Yeah.
I think it's really.
Oh, you did? No, I totally appreciate that. It's it's different when I get a chance to design something to actually be sculpted versus what I can do in wood. What I can do in wood is very simplified, very straight and clean lines and all that stuff. So when I get the chance to design something for sculpting, like Ryan did an amazing. I think he sculpted it better than I drew it. I think, and Ryan did a fantastic job, and it's something that we're excited about.
You should post an Instagram post for it with the drawing next to it to see the translation that they did.
Yeah, if you follow Ryan on his Instagram account, he's been sharing that stuff. So he's been sharing a lot of the 3D print process and a lot of the stages of sculpting it and stuff like that. So if you want to see all that stuff,
nice.
He's Brian Brotherford on Instagram. Brian with a Y. All right, so enough about that. Let's get to know our guest, Kevin. deKevin, let's get to know you a little bit and talk about the world of flipping. Well, first off, are you a collector of designer toys, or are you just mainly just like to sell and flip toys?
Both.
Okay.
I got into the scene as a collector, as a fan of the toys. I used to line up. I think Carlos remembers. I always used to be at events, trying to get stuff signed by him. That's how I started. I started collecting. I started buying stuff on Kid Robot. I think I remember the first time was in Santa Monica, 3rd Street. I would go in there and be like, this shop is cool. And I think the first dummy I ever bought was the Bill McMillan space dummy. Was this astronaut dummy? So that was the first dummy I ever bought. And then, I bought more stuff, and then I see, oh, damn, they have resale value. I checked on eBay. That was the early days of eBay, right? So, I go on there and be like, wow, these things are actually worth money. So I would start collecting. I would buy more than one, obviously resell them, flip them, and keep one for myself, for my own collection. But I would buy extras. I'll have people lining up with me, go to all the releases when Kid Robot used to have them, and do that. So I make my extra money doing that. But then 2008, 2009 came around. That's when I made contact with Doug, and I got a wholesale account. So I started selling them retail on my store. And I used to have a pop-up shop at Frankenstein's collectible show. So I sell there, so it's both. I sell retail. That's where the corner came from. It's retail, but certain things, if it's rare and people are going after it, of course, if I have a chance, I'm going to go after it too and flip it. If I can flip one, the other one will be free. That's how I look at a lot of stuff.
Right. No, that's cool. And I like, you mentioned that, when you first started out, you're collecting them, and then you checked eBay, and then you noticed there was a flippability to the stuff. So how did that come about? At an earlier age, did you have a collector mentality and that would pay attention to resale value?
Came at an early age, I think, because my parents are business people in China. I moved here in 96. But I used to do Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was in high school. I used to buy them at wholesale price and sell them to classmates and everything during class. Like, I would be sending out packs and people would be sending me cash, like right there in the classroom.
That's awesome.
So, that's how I started, like, really doing this. And right after high school, I discovered the designer toys. That's when I discovered designer toys, and I like them. I really like them myself. To start, when I got in it, I like it. I loved it. This is something cool. My cousin, actually, my younger cousin, actually got me into it because he likes streetwear. And the very first designer toy I saw was a S2E6 figure that has a money sign and a guy with a skateboard.
Okay, yeah.
That's the very first figure I've seen that's in this kind of design. And then I got more into it, so I started buying. Like I said, the K-Robot story I just told. And I just got into it more and went to Comic-Con and met all of you guys, started meeting all you guys, collecting all the stuff you guys come out with, all the artists. And obviously Kaz is one of the things I collect, one of his stuff, right? But so I got into it like this. So not just about the reselling for me, but it's a part of it. It's part of collecting for me, and then I use it as a business. So it became a full-time business in 2009 for when I buy wholesale from K-Robot, from everybody, accounts. So that was a full-time job starting 2009 for me, as selling designer toys.
Sure. Yeah, you always hear about collectors, like you said, they'll buy one for themselves and they'll buy another one to sell to pay for, you just essentially pay for their collecting habit. So,
right. To me, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Right.
It's like, hey, if I can get mine for free, why not?
So that's what I was going to say. Like, in the designer toy community, it seems like flippers have a pretty bad reputation or stigma to them, and a lot of them will hide behind alias accounts and such. Do you ever feel alienated by the toy community because you are known to be a flipper?
I don't know if any artists ever said that to my face, like, hey, you can't buy this, but I do see, I get some artists, like, doesn't want their stuff, like, they talk about it when they see something on eBay, and it's like for whatever, right? Whatever amount of money that they just put out. But I feel like it's nothing wrong in terms of flipping, because it helps. I think it helps. To me, it helps the scene because it makes something valuable if it flips for however much more than what retails for. So to me, it just keeps whatever item that an artist is making or a company is making, you keep that value or even higher. So more people will come after it. If there's a second run or if there's future stuff by the artist, that's how I look at it.
Now, don't you feel in a weird sort of way that's kind of creating false hype, though? That because flippers are picking this stuff up, that's creating a false demand for the toys, to where if there weren't any flippers, maybe just the typical collector of the artist that that want the stuff probably would have been able to obtain it maybe without the flippers?
That is true. I think that's one. It is creating. I don't know if it's creating false hype. It's creating false
demand.
Right. It's creating false demand. But I think because the false demand, if it's successful, let's say a figure that comes out, right, and resellers bought them all or bought 50%, and it sells for more. To me, I think it's a success of that toy. So whatever toy that it's been made, that's a successful toy. And the artist could go on making more of them. Let's say the artist, like, just for example, let's say my Cookie No Good, right? My Cookie No Good, the reason why I only made the first color was only like super limited, I think it was only 20 of them, is because, and I went to Fubi route, is because I don't want to spend a lot of money if it fails. If I make 1,000 units and nobody buys that thing, And even though I have Scott's name attached to it, he designed it and everything, but if it fails, it's a lot of money out of my pocket. So I just did a small amount, right?
Yep.
And I see people reselling it, and I'm happy for it. And I even know other resellers in the game, flippers in this game, that come up to me like, can I buy 2? Sure. But the thing is, the first one was online only, and it sold out in like 2 minutes, everything. So at that point, I figured, okay, there's demand for it, and then you see people reselling it for more money, then it creates a demand for it. And the next run comes out, it sells out again, it sells out again, it sells out again. To me, it helps. It helps the toy, and it helps for the artist, I think, in my opinion. So creating false demand doesn't necessarily mean it's bad in the long run, but if it's like they all buy them all and it doesn't sell, that's an issue right there, Like if the flippers bought them all and they can't flip and they devalue the toy, let's say they try to dump it for like nothing or half of what they bought it for, then I think it's bad for the community, for the toy world, and the designer itself, the artist. So I wouldn't want that. I want to see if something gets flipped, it needs to be more. It has to be more than what it bought originally for. Then it's good for everybody, I think, in the long run, from the artist and the collector. Now, if something gets flipped and it's sold out, the artist can make more, right? They can make more on the next ones for more people and more collectors to buy them, or make it in a way that they can prevent resellers to buy them all, or limit one per person, stuff like that. Everybody's done that, like limit one per person, raffle, like the Japanese kaiju stuff. People do raffle tickets and call out numbers, or email raffles, and all that stuff is to prevent resellers and flipper getting it first. But, to make it more fair for the collectors, but there's still gonna be those people to flip, and I think there's nothing wrong with it, and I think in the long run that helps the toy, and it helps the artist, and helps the scene to continue to grow and have collectible value in the toys.
I mean, I kind of agree with a lot of that, especially when there's like you're going to 5 points, and I can't get there, so I need a guy like you to pick up one of Gary's pieces because he's only going to make it that day, and then he's going to break the mold like a jerk. Right. So I can't get that thing. So if there wasn't a guy flipping there, I would never even have a chance to get it. So like if a collector wants their stuff to get outside of their little friend zone, then it helps to have people who are buying it to flip it.
Correct. Now flipping means you sell it right away, right? But it doesn't mean that you sell it for a ton of money. Like if I'm getting that figure, if I'm coming to 5 points, getting that toy from you, Gary, and then George wanted, I'm giving it to him for retail, whatever I bought it for, right?
Yep.
But so you don't know what people are reselling them for. The only thing you can see them is on like public places, eBay. Now they have Facebook groups. At the beginning, there's Kid Robot forums, buy, sell, trade, like all that stuff. And now there's like all those kind of apps to resell stuff. it's becoming not just in our community, it's everything. Like I'm telling you, everything can be resold. It's crazy. You know, it's not just toys, and it's just everything. If there's a demand for it, everything can be resold. You make a little money on it, and there's just like everything in these apps. You see like ridiculous amount of stuff, and some things that I can't even imagine to be resold and flipped, and some people do it, and there's a market for it. So it's just like wow. But yes, like your stuff is gonna be like your figure is gonna be there in two colorways, right? One on Saturday, one on Sunday. So for people that can go and it's in New York City and it's so far, they're gonna need somebody to some way to get it, and they're willing to pay an additional price on top, not to buy an airplane ticket, not to get hotel rooms, to travel from California to New York. They're willing to buy it. They're willing to pay that price. If it's whatever price you had it, and somebody tried to resell it for double, and I'm sure if George really wanted it, he's gonna buy it. Yeah. Right, George?
Yeah, I mean, let's say you were selling. What did you say you're going to retail those for? Do you know yet?
No, we don't know yet. We're still trying to figure that out.
So let's just say you charge $40 for it. It's worth $80. Like if Kevin was like, okay, I'm going to double it, like he said, I don't have to buy a plane ticket. I don't have to go to New York. I don't have to get a hotel. I don't have to travel to the city. I don't have to, eat while I'm there. Like all that stuff adds up. So it's worth $40 to me to not have to go to that thing. It's kind of like Comic-Con when people flip all that stuff there. It's just like it costs $300 a night just to go to Comic-Con, plus the guy's time standing in line, which anything you want at Comic-Con, you're standing in line for 4 hours. Like at minimum. Right. So it's like it's worth paying a little bit higher just to get that time that you don't have to spend.
Yeah, Kevin, when you consider something like San Diego Comic-Con, you're spending, or even cause releases or whatever, is it really worth it to camp out for a release, to flip? Like when you consider the time spent and the profits, is it really worth it to spend overnight in line or 4 hours waiting in line and stuff like that?
People, I think recently people probably know me. Like I'm a shoe collector, I'm a sneakerhead as well. So it's kind of in all this culture that people camp out for stuff. You stay overnight and all that. Now, in the long run, probably it's not worth it, depending on what you get. But if you can get a pair of shoes or item that can resell for 200% retail, like over retail, for a night of waiting outside in the street, think about it. I think about it this way. I'm going to sleep anyway, right? I'm going to go home in my bed and sleep. Why don't I just sleep outside of the store if I'm first or second in line? I'm guaranteed to have the item. I'm still going to sleep, but I'm going to get something that I can make money off of it. Now, it's not saying that I'm going to work. Like to me, if during work hours, let's say you make how much certain amount of money during 8 hours, is it worth it for you to skip a whole day of work to wait for something? Maybe it's not worth it, maybe it is. But for me, if it's overnight and I think I'm gonna get it for sure, it's worth it to me. Yeah. That I can make money off of it. And because you're sleeping anyway. You know what I mean? You're gonna be sleeping, it's just not as comfortable as your own bed. But at the end you're gonna get something out of it. Now, because all that shoe stuff, sneakers, you have to wait. And the same thing, the stores are preventing unfair backdooring and all that stuff. So they have raffles, just like a lot of the kaiju artists do when they sell their toys, right? Yep. So they have lotteries, they have all that. So everything is to be fair for everybody. So it's less and less of the waiting outside now, but rather than, try to be somewhere, just like Comic-Con. Not everybody can get tickets into Comic-Con. Let's say Comic-Con, right? So before last year, I always buy. I don't have a booth at Comic-Con before last year. Now I do. And everybody knows me from, like George sometimes asks me, I can't leave the booth. I want this thing. Can you get it, right? I got to go to a certain booth to get it. So to go to Comic-Con, a ticket is $300, $200 for a 5-day preview night. That's if you get it. That's $300. Hotel room, $200 to $300 per night. That's 5 nights. Am I correct? 4 nights. 4 nights. That's how much. That's already like at least $1,000 for one person or one room. You know, that's if you get a good deal. If you don't get a good deal, those hotels right outside the convention is like $1,000 a night. You know, so that's already $1,000. That's $1,300. So what do I have to do to get that money back? Obviously, you have to try to get something to try to sell and make money off of it, and try to recoup some of your costs for going. Like, I look at Comic-Con as, at the beginning, it's like a business trip. I go there, I try to sell as much thing from the show as possible because people can't go. You have to get all the stuff, right? From everybody, from artists, from designer toys to production, mass production toys from Hasbro, Mattel. Every year I look at those things, see if anything can be sold for more. And then whatever extra out of it is, you know, profit, or I use that money to buy whatever I want personally.
Yep.
You know, but most of the time I've been looking at stuff that I can resell to try to get the cost of something back, because it's a lot of money just to go there and see the stuff. Now, if you go there just to do panels and stuff, there's different people. There's people that go there to resell. There's people that go there to enjoy the celebrities and autographs and everything. Over the years, I mean, you guys know, over the years, there's a ton of different people. But for me personally, it's like, if I want to get that money back, I got to resell a certain amount of things, you know, and see what's hot. And to get those things is hard to do. Now, just not just like wait in line. Now they have tickets again, raffling, you know, try to beat their tickets and all that stuff. Try to get everybody a fair chance of getting these things. And they stop giving people, like, exhibitors to buy stuff, which is ridiculous. I think exhibitors should be able to buy stuff, but not entirely like, oh, you can't buy it because you're an exhibitor. Exhibitor pay more than a regular person to go into Comic-Con. A booth is like $2,500. You know, George knows that. He pays for one. You know, it's like $2,500, and each additional ticket is like $400. You're charging exhibitors so much. What can we do? We got to make money. If our own stuff doesn't sell well, we're going to try to, like for me, I'm going to go try to buy other stuff and try to resell it so I can make my money back off my booth and the cost of it.
Yeah.
You know? So,
no, I get it. I've seen you at San Diego, and you're always you're always lugging around some kind of bag. Or if I say hello to you, you're like, dude, I gotta go. I gotta be on the other side of the convention like in 10 minutes. Like you're constantly hustling there, and I get it. And kind of what you're talking about with the line waiting. I was watching a show. Maybe it's 2020 or 60 Minutes or something like that, where they were talking to a guy in New York he started an entire business, and now he's hiring all of his friends. He just waits in lines for these exclusive events. So anyone who goes to New York and wants, you know, they're a tourist, right? And they want to get tickets to this, you know, new play. They don't want to spend 4 or 6 hours waiting in line. So they go to this company, and that guy waits in line for them. And the people are ecstatic. They're paying this guy, I think, I remember the hourly wage. It was a really good wage. And so in some cases, the guy was making about $200 just for waiting in line for a couple hours for these people, and the people were so happy they sometimes would they would buy an extra ticket for him to watch the play with them because he did them a favor by not wasting their trip. So I kind of get what you're saying about like not wanting to wait in line, or you're doing that service for someone else. Someone else who wants to do panels can now go do all that other stuff and enjoy Comic-Con for themselves. And if they're willing to pay an extra $100 to get it from you because you waited in line and waited for those tickets, to them, that's worth it. So I totally get it.
Yeah, and I see a lot. Last year being the first time I exhibit at Comic-Con, I have my own booth, which is like right across from George, right, like near George's booth. I noticed I have exclusive from the show, right? From the show that I bought from Mattel, that I pre-ordered, and left it in a booth, and people will be buying from me, willing to pay a little more than stand in that line that Mattel have that never moves. So they're like, well, we're only here for a day. I really want that doll for my kid, you know, the Monster High dolls. I'm willing to pay $30 on top just to not get in that line and waste 3 hours because it costs money to come in, you know?
I've stood in that line for a friend because he wanted the Monster High Dell. He had a daughter who wanted one. I stood in that line for 3 days. The first 2 days, and I was the first in line. You know, exhibitors. I would wait at my booth, but the second the place opens, I would walk straight there, and I would stand in line for I think about 45 minutes to an hour. And by the time I got there, the first 2 days, it was sold out completely because all these other people were buying up to the maximum that you could buy. So people were walking away with, I don't remember what the maximum was, but every single person in front of me was buying the maximum. And it's
usually 3 to 6 from Mattel. That's a lot.
Yeah, but it was sort of pissing me off because I know this guy's daughter wanted it, and I just wanted one.
Right.
All I wanted was one, but 100 people in front of me all maxed it out and sold out that list for today. So it took me 3 days to finally get that toy from my friend. And so I understand why people don't like flippers because of that, because they want something and they want it for retail and they waited in line, but the companies are letting it happen. So I mean, I can't do anything. If they're setting the maximum at 10, people are going to buy 10, and that's unfortunate.
Now, that is unfortunate, but think about it this way. As independent toy makers as yourself and George and Carlos, you guys can, limit, like you're like, I want my stuff to be in the collector's hand. You guys could do whatever. But if you look at Mattel and Hasbro, they don't care if you are a collector or reseller, because all they see you is money. They don't care. But as independent producers and artists, you guys can do whatever you want to try to make the playing field fair. Like, I like the lottery system. I don't complain on it, even though I would want it to resell it, certain things, right? But it's fair for everybody. I don't knock on people and artists trying to not, be fair, trying to be like, oh, I want to do the lottery, so it's fair for everybody. Not like first come, first serve, or waiting in line at convention that, the first 10 people are all resellers. I'm sure at this point in your careers, in you guys' careers, who are the ones that's going to buy it and resell it. Who are the ones that always you guys see at your booth that want to buy it, resell it, and they don't even have a collection. I think you kind of have a feel of which kind of people and persons are, like a couple characters. You should know. Like, I know almost all of them that shows up at the kaiju booth to try to get lottery, trying to get their kids, trying to get their kids a ticket, trying to get their wife, so I know. So that's a game everybody has to play. If you say, I'm going to make it a raffle for everybody, then the resellers and whoever wants to get extra, they have to think of something to try to get more or try to get their chance to get one. They're always going to think of something to try to do it. And for me, personally, it's like, I got to do the work, If I got to wait in line for something, I'll wait in line if I really want it. And if I think the resale price is really high and it's worth my time, I'll do it, I know a guy that takes and he gets tickets for like 4 or 5 other people to come to Comic-Con with him, just so he can make sure all those people are in line to make sure he gets the right amount of things that he needs for all the things. So, I mean, flippers do go to great lengths just to do this stuff. Right. For me, it's for over the years of Comic-Con. How many years I've been at Comic-Con? I think since 2007. That was the first one, 2006. For me, I went to Comic-Con because of Kid Robot. See, I didn't go to Comic-Con because of mass production toys. I really loved designer toys at the beginning, so I really liked it. So I went to Comic-Con just to go to Kid Robot booth, and I had like a shirt and just to get all that. And then I got into the mass production stuff because I'm like, well, I'm already here. Why don't I just buy those things to flip and just pay for my trip? That's how I started,
So, Kevin, when you see artists that are like trying to like block people who are resellers, or when they find out who a reseller is and they won't sell them something, does that do you get upset with that, or are you just like, whatever, it's part of the game? Like,
my honest opinion is I don't give up. I don't care. I don't get upset because it's the artist's right to do whatever they want to do. It's your right. If you don't want to sell your thing to somebody, it's your right? You can't refuse service to anybody. That's your right. Now, that doesn't necessarily prevent reselling, because You block one, there's 2 more. You block 2, there's 4 more. It's always going to be there. You found out one, then what are you going to do? You're going to keep blocking people? It's just to a point. If you get to a point where your stuff sells out so fast and you're like the hottest thing right now in the toy game, it's going to be such a hassle. I would just forget it. Do the raffle. Whoever gets it, gets it. And if your stuff sells on eBay and for a lot of money, be happy because your stuff sells.
So Gary,
just be happy that people want your stuff.
Gary, what do you think as an artist? What do you think of something like? Is there a way to like as an artist fight that, or not fight it, but like if you see your stuff selling out with flippers, does that mean you need to up your production number? Like, is that something you can risk doing, or is it like once you up your production number, does the flipper no longer want it because there's too many now? Like, how does that? What kind of a balance do you have to play as an artist?
I think it's tricky because me personally, if it ends up in the flipper's hands, I know that's going to happen and that's fine. But at the same time, I want to ensure that I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money. They can't afford the flipper prices. So it annoys me and it grates on me when I know like a lot of the stuff ended up in flippers' hands. And I want to, like you said, like if I have to increase production size, it's more money. But if I have to do that to ensure there's a better chance of it getting in the average person's hands, that's something I'm going to want to do. But that's not always feasible. You know, but that's something I definitely want to do. I don't want to be, I'll always, with the Android collectibles, I would get, the collectors would send me emails and, hey, check this eBay list. This guy's a flipper. Check this out. And it's like, I don't want to be policing that. It's going to happen. And here's the thing too. It's like the kind of flippers I tend to not really agree with are the ones that don't care about my product and only are buying it to bump up the price really quick the next day. The ones that, if someone buys something and it sat on their shelf for a year and they enjoyed it and they like my work and then they choose to sell it for a higher price, that doesn't bother me. That's not a flipper to me. They enjoyed it and now they're getting a higher value for it at a different price. To me, that's not my concern. I just initial release, I really want the fans of my stuff to get it. And I don't know how you do that other than bumping up your numbers. But when you do that, George, you should, the more you produce, the price should drop as well.
Right.
So it's a tricky thing, and I don't know how to do it. But I don't want to be one of those guys that's policing something and saying no. So I guess the lottery is probably the best way and the fairest way to ensure a good chance for everyone to get it.
Oh, can I say something? For that, I think... Okay, yeah, I agree with Gary. If a collector has something in their collection for a few years or a year and they want to sell it, that's not a flipper. That's just a collector. Because not everybody can afford everything, Yeah. Not everybody drives a Ferrari. Not everybody has all the money in the world. So we have to sell. Like, I have to sell stuff that I like. Like, I love COS. A lot of people ask me if I want to sell my COS stuff. I will say no. I would tell them no matter how much money you put in front of me, because I like that. That's my collection stuff, right? But if I do Comic-Con, like last year I did Comic-Con, I brought out some COS stuff from my personal collection, because if I don't sell a single item in my booth, that trip cost me almost $5,000, including hotels and paying for my friends that helped me out, right? Yep. I have to be sure myself I sell something that I can make my booth back. So without losing money, I brought some cards at values up to $10,000. I know if I sell if I sell everything in that showcase, all the cards, I will get $10,000, and it'll cover half of my cost, and then half will be, profit and spending money, whatever. But I would only do that at shows. Like, I post on Instagram, people always hits me up on the post, like, will you sell it on your site? Will you sell it to me? I don't care. I will not sell it to you. It's only for things like that, because if you're at the show, you're spending $300 to go to Comic-Con. And I'm willing to sell it to you if you're a fan of that and you're willing to pay that price. But if you're just online seeing that thing and you want to buy it, I'm not willing to sell it, because I like that too. It's my personal stuff. I want to keep it for as long as I can. And I don't want to sell it. But for certain stuff that people flip, is they see money right away, They buy it, they flip it, they don't appreciate it. I kind of sometimes hate that too for somebody that really, because I love designer toys to begin with. I like that. But at the same time, I see people buying shoes just to flip, buying Supreme clothing brand just to flip, just for that extra money, and they don't even wear it. But then there's certain things that I do, like certain shoes and certain clothing I buy just to flip. I have that too. So I can't be mad about everybody, So, everybody does what they have to do to keep a collection going or try to make a living.
Now, how do you feel about? You said you're a big fan of Cause and his recent open edition. I mean, if it's an open edition, it's obviously mass quantity. It should probably be a $40 to $60 figure, and yet he's charging $200. How do you feel about an artist bumping up the price, knowing that his stuff has a high flip value? Like he's setting a much higher retail price because of the flipping. Are you okay with that? Do you feel as if he should just be selling it at what a normal retail price would be, or do you like that he's setting at such a high price?
Well,
does it hurt you as a flipper?
Yes, it does. But with the Cause Open Edition, when it first came out, the hype was so high. People were selling them for $500 to $600, even though it's an open edition. And the thing is $200, right? $200 plus shipping and taxes, like $220.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, the retail price-wise, I don't agree that it's too high. I think it's in line with whatever he sold before, all the other figures he sold before. Now, the only thing is because it's kind of unlimited. You don't know when it's going to end. I don't think it's ever going to end based on what just released in Shanghai. He released the 6 again, 6 again, which it come with the 2 new colors now, the 8 colors total, the blush. But if there's a demand for it, if people are willing to pay $200, he's just gonna keep making it. I don't disagree with his price, but maybe it hurts sometimes the older stuff when it first came out. I feel like certain things went down, like his companion stuff went down, but the licensed stuff, like the Star Wars, the Charlie Brown stuff, all those stuff went up even more, because I don't think he's going to remake that, because if he remakes those, it's going to just upset more fans. Like, it upset me, like, in terms of my collection just went down in value as a collector, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it also made other fans happy because they can't afford $2,000 to $3,000 to buy a companion.
Now, if you say, like Gary, you were just saying like he raised the price because he knows that it's going to flip for more later.
Mm-hmm.
And so he raised the price to try and get that. Isn't that like, if like an artist is saying that they're trying to do stuff to get it into the hands of the fans, but they're raising the price because they know the flippers are going to get more. So then aren't they just trying to gouge the fans then? Like, that's not that, because that's shitty. They're just raising your price because you know a flipper's going to get more. So you're just jealous that the flipper's getting more. So you're going to make your fans pay more? Like, that doesn't seem right.
I look at it this way, George. I look at it this way. It's like he knows there's a second value. He's trying to cut down, I think, secondary value of it when he's doing the $200 price point.
Here's how you cut down the secondary market. You make more product. You make enough that everyone can get it. And then you don't have a secondary market because everyone can still buy it from your store.
Well,
if it's available in your store for more than 1 minute, people will be able to buy it.
Well, at this point, there is no secondary market for that open edition anymore. Everything I see is from 250 to 300 range, 300, 350 max. But at the beginning of it, it was $500, $600. You know what I mean? So right now, in terms of money and percentage of profit, there is no resale value. It's only at this point, if you see something for like $250, it's only $30 more than retail. I would buy it if I don't have a cost piece. But then you're basically making nothing. You put out $200, right? There's no wholesale for cause. I have confirmed that. So you buy that for $200, you're making $30.
Right.
why would you buy it? Like, why would you resell it? For a flipper, like you're putting out $200 and making $30. I wouldn't do it as a flipper because it's like, unless you have 1,000 pieces of them, you get $3,000. But if you don't have that kind of quantity and the kind of cash to put up front, there's no point. Nobody will do it.
So those people that are flipping it now are just people who think that they've seen it in the past on eBay where everything's worth a lot, so they think it's going to be worth a lot again.
Yes, and myself included, I have a couple of the open edition that I held on to. I didn't sell at the beginning of it, but I'm holding on to because I think eventually it will. My hope was it's going to go up like my other stuff, right? But because there's going to be periods of time that he can't keep up with the production. There's going to be dry periods. But what he did, which is smart, is he basically told all the museums to take pre-orders during the downtime so he can make more. So at this point, I think the open edition is just going to be something, if you love Cos, you like his stuff, and you can't afford a $2,000 item, if you can find someone that still have it, or eBay or whatever, if you're willing to pay just a little bit more, not $400 more, you can get it.
Okay, so let's talk about pre-orders for a second. You mentioned that Cos is pre-ordering, but a lot of other companies are using pre-order too, like Kid Robot's heavily using pre-order. Is Kid Robot still a sought-out flippable product, by the typical flipper? Like you said in the beginning, that's kind of where you started. You would buy two, you would flip one, but now that they've gone pre-order and everyone can get one, is Kid Robot product still something that flippers would want to pick up?
I don't think the pre-order stuff is good to flip for flippers, but like at Comic-Con, all the Comic-Con exclusive, they're pretty good. I think sometimes they're like online exclusive. Their only Kid Robot stuff is pretty good. Like if you look at J. Rue's Dunny, the last one, the red one, I think it sold out like instantly, and it's like $125. And I've seen them on eBay for $250 to $300. People are trying to get 100% more of it.
Okay, so so you're saying they're exclusive stuff or something that's limited to just the website, yes, but the pre-order stuff, no.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because they have become like you collect pop, right? Like pop vinyl. At the beginning, people were like, oh, I collect everything, and now I see all the people buying pop are chasing after chases, exclusives, convention exclusives, all that stuff. So I think it's the same thing, like people buying the Kid Robot stuff, they only want the exclusive item, either convention exclusive, online exclusive, or, like I'm sure people are going to want your 5 points VIP one.
Yeah. And George, to answer your question earlier, I think that's another good way to ensure that you're getting your product into everyone's hands who want it is go the pre-order route, like crowdfunding Kickstarter or what Kid Robot's doing with pre-orders. Just that really is a great way to ensure that everyone can get one if that's important to you.
Yeah, and without having to take the risk of like, okay, I have to guess how many to make. Right. I mean, even if you do pre-order and you don't even charge until it's made, like if you don't, because if you're afraid of charging people too early or whatever, like just take a pre-order so that you know how many people are actually interested, because that way you can make around the amount that you need.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it just makes total sense.
Yeah, and if you have something and nobody pre-ordered, then let's not do it. It's the same thing.
Hold on one second, Carlos.
What's up?
Que peros, where are you? You haven't said a word.
Yeah, you just disappeared.
I'm here just listening at Kev talk his ear out. I just have a question for Kev, because he mentioned before that, if a flipper goes down, there's like more flippers like arise. Yeah. So I came up with 2 rules for flippers. Don't feed them after midnight, and just don't feed them after midnight. They'll start dispersing.
So Kevin, you mentioned that sometimes artists will blacklist known flippers and stuff like that. Have you ever had anything denied that you wanted?
I haven't at this point, but after this show airs, maybe I will. But I have known after all these years, I think I know a handful of artists. I know everybody. I'm on good terms, I think, with most artists that I know, and then I'm a fan of, like you and Carlos, you know, and even George stuff, you know, all his sculpting and stuff. But I think I'm on good terms. But I'm thinking in terms of blacklist people. I know one who's been blacklisted by a lot of artists, actually, like Brent Peters and what's his wife's name?
Kathy.
Yeah, because I know one guy, he made his living off of them at the beginning, like when their stuff is super hot and all that at the beginning, you know, and he was blacklisted. And but you know what he does? He go move on to another artist and try to buy all their shit and flip. So it's like they'll move on, you know. Like the thing is, like the flippers will move on to somebody else.
Right.
So it's. I haven't been blacklisted because I don't buy. Like for me, like even I flip, right? I flip, but I don't go hire 30 random strangers off the street and hire them to stand in line and buy everybody's stuff. Like buy it all. I don't
If you ever want to get you and all of your flipper friends over to whenever I release whatever I'm going to do next, I'm more than welcome you all guys to get in line and buy all my stuff.
But you know, George, there's a problem. You know why? You pre-sold everything. You have no stock.
Oh, crap.
Oh, boy. You know what?
All right, well, next time when I don't pre-order something, when I don't pre-sell something, I want you and your flipper friends to come over and buy it all so that I sell out.
I will do that.
All right, let's take a brief intervention to mention some of our sponsors, but don't turn it off because coming up, we're going to find out from deKevin what his greatest flip was, if he has a guilty conscience, and tricks of the trade, and other good stuff like that. So stay tuned. But if you're an artist or a photographer, and if you ever wanted to just have your artwork printed in a unique way, check out printonwood.com. They can print your artwork or photography on beautiful, sustainable wood. They can also cut it in a variety of shapes. They do great work. They've worked with a wide variety of artists printing their limited edition fine art prints. So check them out, printonwood.com. And for all your designer toy needs, we got two great sponsors, 3dretro.com. And 3D Retro also has a beautiful brick and mortar location out there in Burbank, California. And then we have StrangeCatToys.com. And if you head on over there, you can save 10% off your order by using promo code Marsham at checkout. All right, let's get back to the flip life and talking with deKevin. Now, Kevin, what's the most successful flip you've ever had?
Good question.
All right. Okay, the most success. You guys remember a guy named Tim Su from Hong Kong?
Yeah. Tim Su.
Okay. Tim Su, he does the monkey ape figures.
Yep. We know it.
Okay. So I used to go to Mixie Bang, which is in Old Town Pasadena. That's my spot. That's my spot for low key. Nobody knows where they are because nobody can find it. Okay. So the owner, I forgot her name, but the owner was really cool with me. Every time there's a Dunny release, she'll give me, you know, they have free giveaways. She'll give me those, and she'll like, if I buy a case, she'll give me like 4 or 5 extras of those. And then they will always host an event with Tim Su when they still had the store. And I went into one of them, and he had a Batman-looking one, an ape figure, and it was, if I remember correctly, I think like $300, and he only made 10 of them. I bought whatever figure he released, the regular one, and then I was like, damn. At the time, I think it's expensive. To me, it was expensive. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe let me buy that. I think I bought it for $300, and I think I flipped it. That one I know is gonna flip because I'm like, only 10. Oh fuck, I'm gonna buy it. So I flipped it. I think I made $1,000 profit.
Wow!
Whoa!
Nice.
Wow.
So that was funny thing is that's my most successful flip. In terms of flip, my definition for flip is I buy it and I sell it right away, right?
Yeah.
So for at that point in time, it's like less than 24 hours. I put it on eBay and I sold it because he only released it there at that time. But I'm not an asshole and just buy that. I bought his other figure because I liked his work and like everything he does at the time. And I got like a bunch of stuff at Mixie Bang. But that was the thing that, oh, you know what? I'm just going to buy it and sell it.
So what's been your least successful flip?
Yeah.
What's the thing you bought? What's the one thing you bought that you were like, this thing is gonna flip like crazy? And you get home and you put it on eBay and you're like, can't sell it for 10 cents.
We got a new segment, boys. It's called Flip or Flop.
Oh,
I think that's already a show.
It is a show. I watch it all the time.
Oh man, that's hard actually, because I usually don't touch it if I don't think it's gonna sell. In terms of flipping it, you know.
So you've been right every time.
No, not every time. It's every time I actually do it, I've been okay. But does that include designer toys or regular toys?
Yeah, everything.
Everything, right? Okay. It's a production toy. It's a production toy, and it's I believe it's a Comic-Con exclusive. I forgot what I think it was a doll. One of the it's one of the not Monster High, but Ever After. I think Monster High Ever After doll.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. So when Mattel at the beginning, they're like what $20, $40 at the beginning, and resale was like $90 on eBay. So I think 1 or 2 years later, I bought a ton of those, right? And then I can't sell any of those because
it happens.
because Mattel made a ton of them, and then they put them online after the show. And then it's like you're gonna have to take a loss just to get rid of it, or sell it at retail. But if you sell it at retail on eBay after fees, like I don't get what people was thinking is they don't calculate the fees. After the fees, you make nothing or you lose money if you sell it at retail. Don't be be dumb and sell that. Like there's a lot of dumb people that does that, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? That is what it is. But yeah, a lot of production stuff, a lot of Comic-Con stuff. Sometimes I don't flip. Right, I buy it and it doesn't flip because they do the after Comic-Con sale and all that stuff. But designer toys, mostly if I flip it, usually make a little bit. You make some money off of it.
So is it like the stock market where you have to you're essentially guessing where the peak of it is, right? So like you said, the cause ones, at first the open editions were flipping for 500, but now they're only flipping for about 250, 300. So you missed the peak of that probably, but you're still going to hold on to it, hoping that the stock market comes back up. Is that what it's like for you? Is that the enjoyment of it? Is the kind of the gamble and the highs and lows of it?
Yes, but as a business, you look at it as business. I learned over the years, like through people that mentored me, whatever. And if you have something that costs you like $100 and now it's not worth as much, and it's only $50 now, or whatever, you should sell it. Like my thing is I should sell it, and I'd rather get that $50 back than not anything and not having anything, just something sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
But the thing with the cause is that's true is like it's a stock market, it's a gamble. Like you buy something, if you don't flip right away, you're thinking, oh, it's gonna go even higher, and you lose. Which I don't win 100% of the time. Obviously, if I do, I'll be driving a Ferrari, right? So. That thing's gonna be less right now. That's why I'm still holding on to it, because even if I put it on sale right now on my site, it'd be $250, $300. People will buy it, but I'm willing to hold on to it for when I do conventions and people see in person. And at that time, if I'm willing to sell it at my cost or a little bit lower, I'll sell it to a fan that want it. But at this point, I'd rather hold on to it on certain things because I don't mind having more costs. It's like, why would you mind having more costs?
Right. Okay, as a flipper, can you have a guilty conscience? Like, have you ever felt guilty about flipping something?
Guilt? Maybe at the not.
Like,
maybe
let's say you're at Comic-Con and you're in Paul Kaiju's line, and you don't collect that stuff. You're just gonna flip it. So you get a ticket for his lottery. And there's a family there, and the little kid loves Paul Kaiju, and he's like, man, Dad, I hope I get my ticket. And then your number gets called, and you're like, ha, 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 kid, I got it. You want it? I'll flip it to you. And then you got to charge him even more. You don't even feel guilty that poor little kid didn't get to buy his Paul Kaiju?
At that point, George, you know me personally. You guys know me personally.
I know. I'm just making you a villain.
Right. But for me, if that situation happened to me, if somebody like a kid begging, crying, I would probably sell it to them. Maybe make minimum or retail. Whatever. If I don't like that thing, whatever I won from Paul Kaiju, and I hate it and I won, if somebody like crying there and they really want it, I will sell it to them. And why would you be feeling guilty? It's like I would give it to them, because if you do take it, like for me personally, if I take it, yeah, I will feel guilty. But at that point, you look at it this way: I won it, I sold it. I still flipped it, but it's just not for a lot of profit, right? You can look at it that way. I still resold it, but you just give it to somebody for less for profit. But and that thing actually happened to me a couple of years ago at Comic-Con. I bought the Monster. It's always, I'm telling you, Monster High dolls, and those dolls always sells, right?
Yep.
So I bought one of those dolls, and I think I got maximum was 6, right? Maximum 6. And this lady just like, oh, I just wanted one for my daughter, and she's like right there, and I'm like, here, have it. It's cost me $30, because I know I had like 30 more in the car, but I do know I had 30 more in the car, and I made enough money out of it. I sold them for 100 each, right?
Yep. And
I'm just getting more. I'm just being a greedy motherfucker, just trying to make more money. And the little kid wants one. I sold it for retail. What's one? Like, to me, is what's one gonna make me?
Kevin, that just means you have a heart, buddy. That's awesome. That's good.
He's a flipper with a heart of gold. You hear that, everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, but flipping is it's part of the game.
Yeah. Now, the part about flipping I don't like, and having stood in that Mattel line for those Monster Highs, there's some shady stuff going on out there. And George, you mentioned it before, where these guys, these pop collectors, will stand at your booth pretending to talk to you early in the morning, and the second the floor opens, you're like not even a care in the world, right? Like, they'll stop mid-sentence to run to that booth. It's happened to me at my booth as well. And it's the same thing with Mattel. I stand there in line, and I see all these flippers, like, pacing the line, trying to cut in line. They're pretending to know people in line. Like, all these shady things. Like, what's the craziest thing you've done to obtain something that you wanted to flip? Did you ever perform one of those shady acts?
For me?
Yeah. Have you ever?
Oh yeah, all the time. Sorry, all the time.
No, yeah. So, like, what are some of your tricks of the trade?
All right. I will announce my trade. Okay, I will announce my secret, which is not that much of a secret. Is if you have a brain, you should know how to do this. Okay, this is how I do it. Early days, I have no exhibitor badge, right? But I know a lot of people that has booth, so I get an exhibitor badge from them. So you get in early. You get in early to the convention. And at the same time, I make sure myself have a regular badge that I buy from the Comic-Con or from somebody else. I will have 2 badges. When I go in there in the morning, pass all the line, I will pace myself around my friend's booth. And then when the thing says, now the convention's open, just like what you said, I will run to whatever booth I needed to get something that's super hot, and switch my badge. And usually it doesn't happen with designer toys. It's usually Hasbro and Mattel, because they blocked exhibitor badges from purchasing. Mm-hmm. That's the reason. That's the thing that you had to do. My first of 2 Comic-Cons, I will have an exhibitor badge and could buy stuff, and that was fine. But since they imposed that rule, you're going to have to think of other ways trying to beat that, right? So that's why you see people pacing around and do all that stuff around booth, and by the time happens, I mean, they're just being dicks because they're trying to pretend talking to you, but I just usually just mind my own business, walking around in circles, Yeah. I don't want to talk to other people. I just rock around in my circles, and then once it says open, I switch my badge and I go. That's everybody, like literally every reseller does this. Every single reseller in this world.
I've seen people start to get the quote unquote disabled badge just so they can get in early and get the Funko stuff. Like, because we're near Funko at Comic-Con, in case people who are listening don't know, our booths are near that end. So like I've seen people do it where they get disabled badges just to get in early because the disabled badges get in early.
Oh, that's so horrible.
It's crazy what it's come to get Funko stuff. And I, like you said, where the guy will be talking to me ahead of time just to like be able to stand by my booth because it's close. Right. But like I actually used that to my advantage last year, where there was something I wanted and I was like, I'm never going to get in that line. Like I don't have the kind of time. So I was like, hey dude, you can come in my booth and wait if you'll get me this thing. And he was like, oh really? I was like, yeah, just go buy, here's the money, get me this piece. You're not buying it anyway. And you could stand in my booth and wait in the morning.
And it paid out.
Right.
And it worked. Yeah. So I'm fine with flippers. I like guys like that.
There's benefits to both, like if you can't get it, you're going to find a way to ask them to get it for you.
Kevin,
it's like
it's San Diego Comic-Con. Are any of the freebies that these booths hand out, are any of those flippable? Like the He-Man shields or the Iron Giant mask? So you run around gathering up some of the freebie stuff as well?
Yeah, so like for all the years, maybe 10 years now, right? So the years I category the people that goes Comic-Con are these people. The people that only goes after exclusives, the people that only goes to panels, the only people that only goes to like autographs, that get celebrity autographs, and then there's the people that only goes after free crap. And the free stuff makes a lot of money because it's free.
Yeah.
Gary, even the bag that Comic-Con gives you can sell for between, $5 and $20.
Yes, 5 to 20.
Just the stupid bag that they give you for free.
I'll tell you one. Do you guys remember a show called Smallville?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Smallville's final season, Warner Brothers gave away a bag, right? A canvas bag. And that freaking bag sold for $500.
What? Holy moly.
And that was a preview night. So sold for $500. And then Thursday morning, you know what happened at Warner Brothers? Every freaking person in the world rushed the convention for that free bag.
Yeah. There was one year I saw Kevin come by with like 10 chairs in his hand from MTV.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, there's yellow chairs that you have at work?
Yeah, he gave me one.
Yeah.
Give me one. Do you still have some of those?
I still do, Carlos. I still do, actually.
For a price.
For a price, he's got them.
For a free.
For Carlos, it'll be free.
And that's smart. I've seen like when they do those kind of gifts, those are smart because they have like branding all over and people are waiting in line and they can take a seat. That's nice.
Yeah, it's great. Like that bag, the Warner Brothers, let's go back to Smallville, that bag, I actually ended up getting one. I sold it for like $120 because the first guy that sold it $500, everything else just keep dropping.
Yeah.
But free stuff worth money. And I believe one year Star Wars, when they first did the retro card, not this one, but like a couple years ago, they redid the card for the 3.75-inch figures, like the retro ones.
Yep.
They gave away free ones, unpunched cards at Hasbro. And those are worth money.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't, the funny thing is like George and I just went to a place, right? Recently with Jack and Ben, Flashback, whatever crappy store in Burbank. So the first thing I noticed when I walked in there was a free mask from Comic-Con, a Batman mask. It's a white one. They're selling it for $25, I believe. It's a free mask from Comic-Con.
Wow.
They were just giving it away for free.
It sounds like to me, like to be a flipper though, there's a lot of research involved and a lot of paying attention to stuff. I don't have that kind of time. I mean, I just don't. I don't want to do all like it is a job. Like it's work to pay attention to all that stuff.
It's a job, and in recent years, I mean, for me, because with the corner and producing my own toys, and now working with DesignerCon and everything, I have fell off with the information on what's super hot, what's like I got to do all that stuff. Even at Comic-Con, I don't have time for that. I got my own booth to worry about, I got all that, but that's where your friends come in. My friends come and my friends go, and they buy stuff. They're like, "Hey, Kevin, this is hot. This is good." Okay. Get it. You know what I mean? So it's like we get it, we sell it. So sometimes it's a lot of information, a lot of time to study who has what and try to get it and find time at Comic-Con at different shows to get it. All
right. So now that we've talked about the flipper part, we've done all that. I think we've exhausted the questions of flipping, unless anyone else has any more. But what is it like now going on the other side of it and becoming a producer? How has that experience been for you?
With Cookie No Good, it was awesome for me. I make, like I said, the first one sold out so quick, and second one we made a little more, right? I talked to Scott, like, let's bump it up to like 30 pieces, 40 pieces, and I think we just kept it that, and I rather see it sell out than to hold on to some, then it doesn't sell. At 50 pieces, like if I keep it small, and I get people buying it, selling out, I'm happy. It's because all of those 50 pieces, I can't get rich off of that. But my point was I have something that I produce, something people will come to my site, come to me at convention and buy it. And to dealing with flippers, I already said, like, if somebody wants 2, 3, sure. I don't mind if you at DesignerCon or at WonderCon when I'm there, I'll sell you 2, I'll sell you 3. I know what you're gonna do with it. You can meal for people. I don't care, because to me is you get one for yourself or you sell it, you make your money, but you still, I still get cash for it. But there's other people now, like let's say there's collectors, like diehard collectors of Scott's stuff, the diehard fans of my Cookie No Good, and they hit me up. I'm sorry, I do save on for them. There is a VIP list. So I will make sure those collectors, I'm just telling the truth. Like, for those people that are diehard collector of the cookie, that I know they just buy and keep, and for the collection they show on their Instagram, I will sell one to them and make sure they get one because they are fans of it. That's just how I do it.
Is it hard to turn off the flipper in you? Is it hard not to set 5 aside to sell through someone else's account 3 months down the road?
It does, but like I do have some I keep aside. I always keep a couple for myself, is for future events. Like when I've seen people probably see me do is when I release a new color, I will have a couple of the older ones. I will have a couple of older ones at my convention at DesignerCon. They come up to me. I do sell a little bit more than retail of it. I'll bump up like $10, $20, but that's because it's gone.
You can't do that. That's not right. You gotta sell it at the same price it was because you're the producer. As a producer, you can't be bumping up the price.
Well, that's.
But he's a flipper too. You gotta forget. You can't forget that.
I know. You gotta sever the tie. You gotta be a producer or a flipper. Right. You can't be both at the same time.
Yeah.
Remember, you're asking me. Like, is it hard to do? It is hard to do because I see people making 100. But like honestly, I don't do that. I don't flip Cookie No Good of my own things. It's just that's like I have 1 or 2 left, and I'm like, okay, if you really want it. And the funny thing is, people didn't care. The people that bought it, they didn't care. It's $50, $10 more than what it used to be. Fine, they just buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but morally, it just doesn't seem right. But I mean, if they don't care, whatever,
right,
whatever.
Right. Morally, but that's the answer. Like,
right. Yeah. I'm just kind of busting your balls a little, but I know what you mean. When you keep 2 or 3, I mean, that's totally understandable. I do the same thing with most of my stuff. I'll hold on to something, usually 1 or 2 extra pieces, just because I'm holding on to them mainly for my kids. I think that maybe when they're 20 or 30. They're going to want this sort of stuff, maybe hanging in their house or something like that. So I hold on to those. But I've had enough collectors reach out to me wanting a Whooper Looper that they missed out on, and I know they really want it. And I have sold some of those pieces that I was holding on to for my kid. I sold them for retail to a couple of those collectors, and but it's unfortunate that flippers have such a bad reputation that people have to go through alias accounts and whatnot. Like, if you've had something, if you're a collector and you got your enjoyment out of the piece, but now it's time to move on to collecting something else or selling part of your collection to pay for medical bills or your kids' tuition or whatever, you should be able to do that without getting the grief from the toy community. And unfortunately, I think there's a bad stigma for being a flipper. But there's also that sort of thing too. If you are a collector and you're starting to sell your toys, you don't want a colleague kind of like maybe taking offense that you're willing to let go of their piece. Like that kind of sucks too. And so I totally get it. But
it happens. Like I don't think it's wrong, because if something worth money and you feel bad because they're your friend or whatever, you're connected with them and you don't want them to see you selling it, because there's nothing wrong with that. To me, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do have like one thing I don't do, like personally I don't do, is if you gave me something as a gift, I will never sell it. I will never flip it. I will never sell it because you know what, you get back karma from that.
All right, let's wrap up flipping, Gary. I think we should do a lightning round and end this show.
Yeah.
Lightning round. Kevin, since you're new to the show, this is a segment where we hit you with a burst of questions. You, just answer short and quick, and we'll move on to the next question. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so what was your favorite childhood toy?
Power Rangers.
Nice. What was your first designer toy purchased?
The Space Dunny from Bill McMillan.
Okay. What toy is most proudly displayed in your collection?
Cookie No Good?
That sounds like a question. I think it's cause. It's something cause.
No. Yeah. Okay, it is a cause.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess pick something other than the Cookie No Good, because it's obviously that one's going to sit on the shelf of your home.
All right. Okay, besides from Cookie No Good, I have a 5-year companion, black and neon.
Okay.
That's the best. That to me is my best one.
Is there a toy out there that you wish you were the producer of?
Wow.
Cause companions.
Is there a toy? The Luke True Prisoner.
Oh, okay. Good. Is
that thing is a hot.
Is there a toy that still amazes you that you paid that price for it?
It's a cause piece. I think I paid the Vader. I paid like $1,500 for it.
Oh,
$1,500.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Big spender.
Yeah. And I still had it.
Have you ever taken out a bank loan for your flipping?
For my flipping, yes.
Okay. Have you ever mortgaged a second mortgage on the house to get something?
No.
Okay. Your place is on fire. You only have time to grab 3 toys. What are you grabbing?
The Vader, the Stormtrooper, and the 5-year later.
Is there a toy out there, a white whale toy, that even you have not been able to obtain yet?
A toy that's widely available? Or not?
No, like your white whale toy. Something that's really hard to get that you're still trying to get, either for your personal collection or to flip. Is there something out there that you're still trying to obtain?
A Boba Fett cause.
Marsham Toy Hour, sponsored by Cause.
Yeah.
Man, you guys got any questions?
No, I'm good.
I mean, I think we've talked exhaustively about flipping.
Well, that's what this episode was about. I mean, it was great. I thought it was. But thank you so much, Kevin, for being so open and honest with your answers and just letting us pry into the reseller life a little bit. I think our listeners are really going to appreciate it.
Thank you, and I hope I'm not blacklisted from everybody. I'm just telling the truth.
No, and you shouldn't be. For being honest and open about it, I mean, you should be rewarded. I think.
Exactly.
I mean, not rewarded, but you should be respected for being open and honest about it.
Well, you're welcome at my table anytime, Kevin.
I'll take your money too, Kevin.
I will take your cash anytime you want to buy something of mine to flip.
Yeah, I want that log boy. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, thanks. We'll get you something.
I love it. I hope I'm gonna go there.
Well, I hope to see you there. And so, Kevin, why don't you take a brief moment and let everyone know where they can find you?
They can find me on social media, Instagram, The Corner, or my personal page, Life of Kai. And in Snapchat, Life of Kai. I'm on social media a lot. And what's new?
Oh yeah, what's new? Your new show that's run through Toy Geeks.
Right, it's on Toy Geeks Network. What's new? The first episode is up from my friend Kano, and I'm hoping to visit more artists and talk more toys and see what's new with them. So if you're open to me visiting your studio, any place like that, let me know.
Cool. George.
You can find me at Double G Toys on Instagram and George Gaspar on Facebook. And make sure you follow Kevin on Snapchat and watch him go to the gym and eat food and post a ton of pictures of his alarm clock.
What?
Maybe driving.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Kevin's got Snapchat glasses, just so you know. So if you're ever hanging out with him, you will end up on his Snapchat inevitably because he's got Snapchat glasses on.
Wow.
So just be prepared.
All right.
Carlos, where can we find you?
No, Chamaco, where can people find you?
No, screw Chamaco. He's out. I heard him bark. He interrupted us.
No, Chamaco.
I love Chamaco.
At the Beast Brothers, thebeastbrothers.com, and also Chamaco. My name is Chamaco.
And can you plug Daniela's Instagram account real quick, because she posted something funny this week about you sleeping. Of
me sleeping or coughing a lot.
Oh, it was you coughing during sleeping, and
What's your Instagram, mi amor?
My Instagram is Camille Rega. That's Camille Rega.
Yeah.
Camille Rega.
Yeah, I highly suggest you follow her account because she'll post some nice inside looks into Carlos's world.
Behind the scenes.
That's an everyday thing. And now imagine having that plus a dog, and they both, I don't know why, but they both are so hot at night. It's like having water fall in my bedroom.
Dude.
I just can't.
You got to go Dick Van Dyke show and get a separate bedroom or something like that. It's just.
I know.
Don't start giving her ideas.
I know.
I Love Lucy had it right. 2 beds.
Yep.
No, but we cannot sleep like holding each other or like even close. Like that's it. Yeah.
I saw it like,
No, but you're warm. Like your whole body. Like
I'm a hot Mexican.
Come on.
He's a spicy hot Mexican.
With all this coughing, he better have a freaking hard 6-pack going on.
Probably under there.
I do. Thank you, mi amor.
All
Thanks,
right. Well, I'm Gary Ham. You can find me at superham.com or Gary Ham on Instagram. This has been the Marsham Toy Hour. We do this every week, not because we have to, but because we want to. So until our next transmission, we're signing off. Bye.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to Target later, everybody.
Oh, that's why you were trying to rush it. Target. Go, 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 go.
All right,
Keep
later.
trying to find more
See ya.
toys. See ya. Thanks.
No, that was cool. Thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
That's some hard questions.
Yeah, we can, but no, thanks again for so much for coming on. Like, I didn't know how the subject was going to go, and I didn't know how open you were going to be willing to be about it, but you were fantastic. I really appreciate you being so open and honest with your answers, and I know the listeners will appreciate it as well, because the reselling, it's like a taboo subject that we don't get to really explore and learn about too much, so I really appreciate you coming on and kind of explaining your side of things.
Thank you for having me on.